Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Jalial. Today, April 9th, Mars entered Aries to stay in here until May 18th. The passage of Mars through signs doesn't happen with the frequency that other personal bodies do, such as the Sun, Venus, Mercury, that, they do that every year. Mars goes through each sign every 2 years, and beyond this time is going to be to make contact with Neptune for the first time in 160 years, and with Saturn after 29 years. All of them in a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. This energy is part of the new moon in Aries that we are going to have on April 17th, that has a very impressive stellium of 7 bodies in this fire energy. And considering that one of them is a transpersonal, which is Neptune, and a social planet, Saturn, we could expect a beginning that as much as could dissolve all the structures and paradigms that we have inhabited in our lives. This will also call us to assume the responsibility for the true callings of the soul in a very concrete way, as Saturn is used to express, to be able to consolidate a path of individual growth. Individuation is something very linked with Aries, and at the same time at the service of the collective, which is Neptune. So the entrance of Mars in its domicile of fire is very important for all of these reasons, and because Aries itself is an energy of beginnings in a context of a new moon that is also indicating that we are starting something. So we are talking in here of masculine energy, of the primary force of the action, the movement, the desire, and the direction that we are going to assume, the use of our force and our aggressiveness. Individuation not as a separation of the consciousness of unity, which is Pisces, but as the recognition that we are the experience of being a fragment, and at the same time we are united to the infinite. We are creation, but we also can experiment the creator inside and outside of us. But the fact that we are all part of the cosmos and its infinitude, sorry, there is a lot of noise outside, doesn't annul that in this place at this moment we experiment being these individuals with a specific function that is coming from these inner callings and from actions that are going to require many times bravery, courage, and the transcendence of our fears and conditionings, so we can reveal what we can call the identity of the soul. Naturally, you are going to feel high energy from here and on. We have the sun in Aries, going through already from March 20th. But this high energy could be very positive if we are recognizing how to channel it in an evolutionary purpose. But it could turn into an imbalance if we are not aware of the motivations, intentions, and from which space, are coming our desires. This could be a lot of anxiety for doing and doing and doing, but again, the direction of those actions is very important. And many times we need to wait until we have information to make assertive decisions. And on the other side, it is also important to develop consistency in what requires this sustained energy to be constructed. One of the shadows of the Aryan energy is beginning something with all the initial impulse, but later not being able to sustain that, because giving a structure, which is Saturn, cannot depend on feeling 100% motivated every time. Many times we're going to do things without that much initial motivation, and discovering that the spark is going to be lightened. I am inventing a word again in the process. So with this, I am not referring to forcing ourselves or over demanding to ourselves doing something. I'm talking about that is very probable as an experience of the path, that these patterns of self-sabotage can emerge because perhaps the material results are not coming as fast as we want, or because we are dealing with a challenge and things aren't going the way we want. And people may want to abandon something that they shouldn't because there is a very low level of frustration. And the premise is, if this isn't working as I want, then it doesn't serve. This doesn't of course applies to every situation, doesn't apply to every situation. For other people, this could be expressed in the contrary polarity. I mean, they are insisting or forcing themselves to continue in a path because of the energy or the time that they have invested before, or because of other emotional, mental, material attachments, even though that isn't working. And later comes the frustration because they are not feeling that they are moving forward, but it is because they need to change the direction. Other people could experiment this as many tryings, trying many times to approach the directions, opportunities, and experiences in a very accelerated way. But again, if this is being born from impulsiveness, of not actually knowing what to do, could be that that energy is being lost in experiences that doesn't have sense, that don't respond to a true purpose that is connected with the soul, and that is not going to open any path. In other level, these situations could be trying to escape from themselves, or trying to escape from something that they have to face. For example, a person that needs to begin an independent project, but has fears regarding that project, keeps looking for other job opportunities in other places, and the person is not able to find them, or is attracting experiences that doesn't desire, because his or her soul is calling them to do other thing. Or perhaps what they need to change is other area of life. For example, making a decision regarding a relationship. Perhaps this is about making a cut, putting a boundary, developing more independence, which is also energy of Aries. And as the person doesn't want to face that situation, it is escaping through other distractions, or attaching to denial or perception of confusion, which are other aspects of the shadow of Neptune, to not make those decisions. It is just that these forms of self-deceit are going to show different consequences, and we are going to see them in a very concrete way. This is the Saturn way, whether because of the irritability, the inner anger that we are feeling, or because we are experimenting lessons outside. And with that charge of Aries that we have right now, it is good to be very present in our body, because there is this tendency to falling, to cuts, to hitting ourselves with something. And those accidents with quotation marks are going to be also indicators of something that we need to register or regulate. Well, I already commented this. Conflicts could be increased too if we are not taking pauses, or we are not observing what is putting ourselves that reactive. It is the excessive of aggressiveness. It is rarely necessary. But sometimes we could use it. For example, the other day I was about to be hit by a car, because the man that was driving wasn't looking, and well, I had to yell at him because that was a matter of survival. But those are exceptional cases. So it is also a key to make this registration of how much we are prioritizing our desires or personal interests. I am referring that both if we are, abandoning ourselves, or putting aside everything that is important for us to give priority to other people, or as much as justifying selfish behaviors and imbalanced behaviors, because we want to walk forth towards our desires. Both of them are imbalances. So we could also experiment lessons regarding these things. And in fact, annulling oneself to sustain a relationship or a situation that actually is not contributing, it is a form of selfishness, which is not the same that putting desires of the ego aside to align ourselves with a higher purpose. I mean, limiting the desire to something that could bring immediate satisfaction or an apparent emotional relief. Many times we are reactive because that discharge that we could do is a form of getting to that relief, but later we could regret the things that we do or say, or we could make decisions that are not contributing precisely in the long term. So everything that I am telling right now is the new moon, but I'm going to expand it later because this new moon has a very strong presence of Chiron. So this shows us the need to deal with certain fears or experiences that are painful and that have been manifested perhaps along our lives, and in which we have made identity. Okay, thank you everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.